haven't been part of a team since I was with the Four Peters.
Hello ladies, hello gentlemen, Edsky here, and today I have prepared something special for you. You've been waiting for this moment for a long time now, and so did I. And finally, it is the complete review of Hunt Down the Freeman, Part 1. In the upcoming series of videos, I intend to dissect the game, sometimes quickly skimming through this mess and at moments going into excruciating details. Believe me, you can like or hate this video, but you cannot miss such a terrible masterpiece like Hunt Down the Freeman, and I will be your guide in this journey who won't allow you to get lost. The review will be more focused on studying the anatomy of the disaster itself, the story, the gameplay, level design, but in a rather light-hearted manner. For the most part, I won't be going into the background of the game, why and how it was created. Firstly, I am not particularly interested in that. Secondly, it was already done in the last video by The Right Opinion, and you should watch it after mine. And if you have already seen it and were intrigued by what exactly made the game so hated, you are welcome. However, I'm going to disagree with him in one regard. The Right Opinion implied that the comparisons between Room by Tommy Wiseau and Hunt Down the Freeman by Berkan Denizyaran are incorrect, as Room was at least engaging, while Hunt Down the Freeman was not, and my task is to prove to you that Hunt Down the Freeman is just as beautiful and fun in its special way as Room was. Actually, I'm going as far as to say that it is one of the best trash games ever. Still, I should give some information on how this game was made, for those who have never heard about it. In 2016, a young, handsome Turkish man, Berkan Denizyaran, perhaps even one of those Turkish who text Ukrainian girls to find a wife. Don't even ask, you don't want to go into this rabbit hole. So he started an Indiegogo campaign to create a standalone game in the Half-Life universe, where you would play as a villain, pursuing Gordon Freeman.
Bruh.
Expectedly, the hungry Half-Life fans were intoxicated by the idea of playing a new installment of their favorite franchise, and yeah, that didn't work. They got literally $12 out of 100,000 they requested. And that was that. But suddenly, 2 years later, Berkan returned from the void and together with his new studio, Royal Rudius Entertainment, announced that Hunt Down the Freeman is coming out in 1 month. On practice, it came out 2 months later, following constant shifts of the release date, and still was buggy as hell. But between the teaser and the release, for some reason there was a wave of hype regarding this game. Partly this could be attributed to Royal Rudius Entertainment hiring professional mediocrities, also known as YouTubers. I Hate Everything, Pyrocynical, Colossal is Crazy, Keemstar, they all notified their fans about them voice acting for the game. One of the most popular Half-Life related YouTubers, Boredom, donated a hefty sum of $50,000 American dollars to the developers and obviously was interested in it succeeding. Secondly, the hungry Half-Life fans were intoxicated by the idea of playing a new installment of their favorite franchise, and this time it worked. The whole community anticipated the upcoming game. And in disappointing them all, Mr. Berkan created a masterpiece. Let's go for a hunt, shall we? The first and already extremely difficult task on your way to playing this masterpiece is its accessibility. Don't make the mistake, Hunt Down the Freeman is being sold on Steam freely and you can buy it anytime. But would you want to buy it for such an outrageous price? I definitely did not. That is why I started looking around different marketplaces. The problem is, the game was so hated that there barely were any sellers. This way, it would take the eternity to download the game. In fact, the only buyable version on such websites was the version 1.0, which I could not use for the review as it was unplayable, broken and didn't even feature any cutscenes. It took me a few days, a few nerves and balls of steel to find a 1.1 torrent. Even then I did not really trust the website I was downloading it from, though this woman comforted me throughout the journey. So yeah, what I wanted to say, I'll be reviewing a rather older version of the game which will feature a few bugs that may have been fixed by now, but overall will barely be any different. As I first opened the game, I was greeted with a scarred face and the main theme of the game. I have no need to be objective here, but I'll try. The soundtrack is really great. The game has a tendency to overuse this track, but I don't really mind as it is just great. Paul Humphrey was one of a few people who actually tried. I think they made a good decision of hiring a good musician. I mean, if they hired a bad musician and created a horrible soundtrack, this would be so much cooler and more suited to the game, but at least it's not mediocre. However, despite how much I liked the soundtrack, I had to spend the next 1 minute and 48 seconds in complete silence, because that is how much time it took for the damn game to load. The following sequence demonstrates us the life of our main character, Sergeant Mitchell. His father committed suicide when he was just a kid, and his brother was separated from him. Guess, how much is all of this relevant to the story later? Not at all. Or is it? Also, you may have noticed that the cutscenes are pre-rendered. This means in a few years they won't be looking as good on new monitors. Did I just imply that Hunt Down the Freeman will be played by people in a few years? Well, I certainly hope so. Though the cutscenes already look a bit crispy. And there he is, the unrecognized genius, Kojima's son and student, designer at Activision Blizzard. I must say I am impressed. On his Twitter, Berkan seems rather ironic about the game now and sees it as his experience. I would have nothing against it and would even say something positive, but allegedly he did not pay Royal Rudus Entertainment employees everything he has promised them, so I won't. But who knows, maybe the next Call of Duty game will be successful enough to allow him to repay his debts. The cutscene ends and we finally take our character under control. Beware, right behind you lies a knife, which you have used to kill that operative. Don't miss it, as I did a few times. As you may have already noticed, this is Black Mesa. Sergeant Mitchell was one of those HECU operatives that stormed the facility to liquidate any evidence and witnesses. However, it is already the last stage of the operation, right before the military decided to evacuate themselves. Now our task is to reunite with the comrades. Damn, this knife is really strong. Just don't mind that the subtitles say crowbar whack. Audio design in the game is quite weird. While being alright for the most part, we often encounter episodes like this.
Do you copy?
When you cannot hear anything a character says. Sometimes it's even worse. Do you remember the Vox announcer from the original Half-Life?
Alert, amigo, on the base.
A great, sexy voice, today memed just as any Half-Life sound.
I am badass.
Oh, how they have massacred my boy.
Attention, all Black Mesa personnel. Level 5 containment now in effect. Level 5 containment now in effect.
And I remember having issues with Black Mesa's new voice, though Black Mesa had a tendency to make voices less cooler compared to the original. I will never forgive them for turning brutal soldiers
My ass is heavy.
into psychotic privates with a cracking voice.
Contact! 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 Contact!
Interesting how lowering the graphical settings only made the game darker. I could not miss the fact that the level designer was an average Symmetry fan, because that is the only thing that comes to my mind as an explanation for this square room. Like, we will encounter these all around the game, and trust me, right now we are looking at the game's best in terms of production quality. However, the fun part I have promised you is about to begin.
What the fuck? They're all dead.
Oh no, Mitchell, this one is still alive. Better ensure he's not. And finally, this happened.
Whoever it takes, however long it takes before I die, I will fucking kill you.
Sergeant Mitchell in the flesh, or rather, his remains. I do have to admit, I'm impressed that you made it back, alive from Black Mesa, even if it wasn't our intention to begin with. Yet you are still here. You should have just died there, but here you are. You've proven yourself a man of rare conviction. But even this does not impress me as much as the words you speak. Whatever it takes, whoever it takes, however long it takes, before I die, I will kill you. Is that right? Well, you see, Mr. Mitchell, we cannot let you kill Dr. Freeman yet. They authorize me to offer you a deal. you will be rewarded with authority, power, and time. The only payment we ask when the time comes, keep your promise, Mr. Mitchell. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
So apparently we were saved by G-Man himself for a purpose only he knows. I know it too because I have already finished the game when it came out, but let this be an intrigue for you. Or were we actually saved by a G-Man? In this monologue he admits being impressed that Mitchell escaped Black Mesa.
I do have to admit, I'm impressed that you made it back alive from Black Mesa
and survived, hinting that it was not G-Man's merit. In this case, how could he possibly escape? Even more strangely, later we find out that the 7-hour war is waging right now. However, the 7-hour war happened only a few years after the Black Mesa incident. Does that mean that Mitchell was comatose for a few years straight and survived while the Earth was in a state of apocalypse? Why did he wake up in the operating room then?
Shit. I'm losing too much blood. I need to patch myself up.
Was he being operated when the war began, or did G-Man just put him in stasis and released only now? Then why would he pretend that he didn't save Mitchell himself? A quick spoiler, he had almost no reasons to lie, and this won't be explained in the future. However, don't take my words as me hating the mode. I'm just pointing out how absurd and inconsistent the story is, because it is not the last time that happens. Up until now, the game seemed to be a rather mediocre mode in terms of gameplay, throwing hordes of boring zombies at the player and barely providing any fun. But you should know, Hunt Down the Freeman is not one of those games that throw all of their trump cards at you immediately. The true beauty of the game is about to show up. Let's just stay in this room for a minute to examine it. I won't point to the absence of a bed in the corner that was present in the cutscene. That doesn't even matter. What matters is the way the operating room was built. Notice how poor is it? White concrete walls and only one operating bed in the middle. A few drawers where doctors can put their shoes before the operation. Chairs, apparently so the assistants could relax and drink some coffee during the process. And a window so anybody could watch your heart surgery. I knew it would come to this when they first introduced those transparent kitchens in cafes and restaurants. Overtone window at its finest. And the only operating tool are giant pincers. That is the picture I imagine when I'm being told about our Ukrainian free healthcare. The next fragment I consider to be one of the most hilarious moments in the video game history.
Hey, wait! I need that medkit, buddy. I need that! Come back here!
As you approach a medkit, literally in the middle of the corridor, a fucking firefighter runs out of the corner and steals it. And he doesn't even stop when Mitchell asks him for help. Mitchell's voice actor's actual good job in acting only makes this scene much more hilarious. And he fucking dies by a barnacle. You just cannot make something like that on purpose. This set piece, it is genius in its special way. After entering an elevator, we descend to the first floor of the hospital. Everything is dark and there are literal hordes of zombies around. Seems like the whole personnel was turned into zombies, yet zombies haven't killed a single person, and there are no bodies around. Also, the hospital itself is weird. Half of the hallways are blocked by metal gates. Makes me wonder who set up those gates in a hospital in the first place. Architects were apparently also hide through quarters. Here, the hospital corridor leads into a locker room, which not just has two entrances, but its doors are transparent. The locker room then leads into some kind of bureau that goes into an office that leads back into a corridor. Have I already mentioned that the level designer is a really weird person? This set piece is okay, as it is clear what your goal is and there is a tension created by zombies chasing you. On the other hand, if you slow down to look at them, you'll realize that they are too slow to be a threat. Oh, and there is a new feature in the game. You now can not only crouch, but lie down on the ground. I wish the game told me that when I was playing it for the first time, but now I quickly figured out how to pass this table.
Get down!
Yeah, another tendency that I noticed is that the cutscenes get weirder and weirder as we progress. The first two were well made, while this one is more wacky and stupid. This slow motion just kills me.
You alright? I'm fine, thanks. An HECU? What are Special Forces doing here?
Yeah, Nick, what are they doing here? What HECU soldiers could potentially be doing in a zombie-infested hospital? Yeah, by the way, meet Nick, also known as I Hate Everything, a YouTuber who hates a lot of stuff. The point is, this is the first and not the last YouTuber you'll hear in the game.
I was about to ask the same question. National Guards?
Anyways, are you alone? Is there anyone else with you?
Negative. It's just me. What the hell is going on out there?
There is no easy way to put it, but as far as we know, we're under an alien invasion. Those things are targeting mainly military bases. It's been just 2 hours. First 1 big portal appeared, then 10, then 100. The best thing is to get the hell away from them.
What about the army?
There's no more army. No more military. We are the only ones left. Listen to me. We are gathering on the metro station on Brandon Street. If you can make it there, find Colonel Q. Tell him Nick sent you. Take this radio and map with the station marked on it. Use it. Good luck to you.
Mitchell.
Godspeed, Mitchell. Hey, Mitchell. Welcome to Albuquerque.
You know, for a...
There's no more army. No more military.
There is actually a lot of military. Near the hospital you can find a grocery store stolen from Counter-Strike. Funny thing, these zombies are actually alive, but won't attack you until you get a weapon, even if you do everything to provoke them. By the way, wanna see how Sergeant Mitchell looks? I can't believe it. We were Gordon Freeman all along?
This is my knife. What the hell?
Well, technically it is not your knife. You took it from an operative you have killed back at Black Mesa. Funny how G-Man decided to put it in the side store, which, as Steam achievements indicate, a large number of people did not even find. Oh yeah, this game has Steam achievements. Oh look, here they are. A minute of walking leads us onto a crossroad, where soldiers manage to successfully build a trench despite the road asphalt. From both sides they are being constantly attacked by alien troops, who are practically reskinned combined soldiers with much more health. A newbie would think that they should help the soldiers to protect the trench, but in reality aliens will be attacking infinitely, so I'd better go forward before they stop killing military and switch to you. It is not easy to find, but you need to go into this alley right before the aliens spawn. Am I going to call it a bad game design? No. Am I going to mention that on release there was an invisible wall here that prevented you from moving forward? Also no. Honestly, fighting these enemies is so tedious, I simply cannot bear it. The gun has an insane recoil and aliens have much more health than usual. Even the grenade launcher doesn't save the situation. But fighting 4 aliens is not the worst thing yet.
Mitchell, do you copy? We just left the hospital, but the streets are either fucked or swarming with those aliens. We'll have to find another way to Brandon Street. And we'll have to find one quickly if we want to get out of the city.
Go ahead, Mitch. I got this covered.
The hell? There's someone on the channel. I will be...
Right after an important plot information, Berkan allows us to get jump scared by a loud explosion and marvel at the beauty of Source 1 physics. Hell, let's witness this beauty once more. So apparently, we now have a mysterious ally sniper in the hotel, helping us. We of course all remember how strong snipers in Half-Life 2 were, so nothing will be a problem for us now, right? Actually, more than a dozen of alien soldiers would, because even with a sniper, killing these 15 or so aliens took me incredibly engaging 3 minutes of hiding behind the cover and shooting with a crazy recoil. Oh, a shotgun. Nice. This will teach those alien bastards. Yeah, a shotgun that needs 2 shots to kill a zombie at a point-blank range. Players' arsenal in this game really sucks ass. Wow, what a beautiful hotel lobby. All square and looking like it came right out of early Garry's Mod maps with its puke-inducing symmetrical square design. I wonder how could it be even better? Oh, I know! By making the player run around it for 3 minutes, shooting waves of zombies while the elevator is coming. Honestly, this whole section feels just like Garry's Mod sandbox, where you spawn too many zombies. You can just abuse their AI and run around the furniture for the whole time. And that is what I love about this game so much. Where else could you find something as archaic and poorly designed? The authors had a blast coming up with the worst possible ideas for the game, and I can only applaud them for not withholding their talent. But yeah, enough of that for me, I am going into the elevator. Look, this time the elevator actually moves, and does not just fade to a black screen. On the top floor I found a pair of night vision goggles. It took me a lot of time and browsing to realize, but in Hunt Down the Freeman you have to put them on as a weapon, clicking the assigned number and manually using the goggles with the left mouse button. Okay, one of a few times the game managed to surprise me positively. Here I saw a fast zombie running through the corridor, and later turned out that it ran around the level to attack me. I didn't even know NPCs in Half-Life could navigate such complex routes. And in a few moments it managed to scare me. Nothing here. The area itself is really unremarkable. You just navigate through the corridor with your night vision goggles on, shooting zombies. There are many accessible offices and cabinets, but they have nothing interesting inside. At best, you can find a medkit, but usually they're just hollow, empty, and all look the same. And you know what does not look the same? A freaking marble Baroko staircase in an office building. Just look at them stairs. They look so horribly wrong, unfinished, and out of place. I love them. Ever entering your office building and climbing it using the symmetrical polished marble stairs? Now you can. They seem like they came from a 20-year-old game. Though spiritually, Hunt Down the Freeman was always 20 years behind its time. Look, there is even an invisible wall that restricts you from going down. How could I possibly hate this?
So, you're that sniper, huh? Black Ops?
And you must be Mitchell?
And you must be the one on the radio.
I heard that you guys have a plan about getting out of the city.
Maybe.
I want in.
Why?
Yeah, Mitchell, why would he possibly want to escape the alien-infested city? I swear these cutscenes are directed well, with the exception of camera work sometimes looking straight out of Xavier Renegade Angel. But the dialogue is so cheesy, I cannot just ignore these weird moments.
Hey, let's make a deal.
I'm listening.
Good. First, let's lower the guns, okay? I can get you to Brandon Street with shortcuts and give you sniper support, but I want in. I'm getting the hell out of this city. Alive. So whatever your plan is, I'm in. When we're out, I'll go my own way. Until then, I'm the only friend you got.
So tell me, Mr. Black Ops, why should I trust you? You guys fucked us over at Black Mesa.
Adam.
What?
My name, it's Adam. And we just followed orders. They sent us to do the job you guys failed to do.
You killed your own people!
Didn't you? By the time we got there, you guys already killed more than half the Black Mesa staff.
That was different.
Wow, Mitchell is a real asshole. I know that he's not the hero of this story, but that just sucked out all the sympathy I could have for him.
Face it, Mitchell. I did nothing different than you.
At least I didn't backstab my own brothers in arms.
I already told you it was an order. You ever disobey orders? Now I got a question for you, Mitch. How the hell did you make it alive from Black Mesa?
I found my way back. How did you get out, Adam?
Well, I guess I found my way back. So, Mitch, we got a deal or what?
Well, looks like you're in.
Alright then, let's get the hell out of this goddamn city.
And on this intriguing note, I must end the video. Initially, I was planning to stretch the video up until the train minigun segment, but it already has taken so much time, I should do that in the next part. So yeah, join me back in the part 2 of my series to find out who is Adam, who is Mitchell, will they escape the city, and what is that train minigun segment. Don't forget to press the like button. Until then, AdSky was here and see you next time.